Breaking news in the Sports Center. DeMarcus Boogie Cousins in the All-Star game in New Orleans doesn't have to go too far. Our Mark Stein breaking the story. The Pelicans have agreed to trade Buddy Hield.
You got to be kidding me. This is DeMarcus Cousins we talking about here. So a heist took place. Sacramento got robbed.
I think the Sacramento Kings just might have made the worst trade in NBA history.
When I heard about it, I was like, wow. Because basically they gave away Boogie Cousins for a jar of jelly beans, a case of Gatorade, and 6 rolls of tape.
Can you sum up your All-Star experience? What it was like for all the great players?
It was amazing, man. I enjoyed the city of New Orleans, I love it here in New Orleans.
All right, we were going to start by looking at the All-Star game, but we have some late-breaking news. Very recently, it has been confirmed, well, not confirmed by the league, but reported that DeMarcus Cousins has been traded to New Orleans and will team up with Anthony Davis, which is a huge story, biggest trade of the season by far, probably biggest trade, well, since the KD trade. But that wasn't a trade, but biggest move from a player. Yeah. And really, they got him for scraps, to be honest.
Pack of no-names.
Yeah,
really.
Buddy Hield. I mean, Buddy Hield, he was their pick 6. He was the Pelicans' pick 6, so it's significant to lose him.
He sounds like a 50s rock star.
Yeah, he is really good, and he will be really good, but considering you've turned him, Tyreke Evans, who he's only averaging 9.5 points this year, down from 15 last year, so he's struggling this year. Langston Galloway, and now there were some first-round picks involved, but still to turn that into DeMarcus Cousins, the best center in the league.
Who's been carrying that side.
Yep.
Who, on any given night, can get you a W.
Yep. So he's averaging 27.8 points and 10 boards this year. Davis is averaging 27.7 points and 11.9 boards. So that's going to be the best front court by a country mile. Oh, yeah. Then obviously you've got Drew Holiday in the point guard position, who he's not a superstar, but he's underrated. He's averaging over 16 points, over 7 assists. So obviously he had a delayed start to the season as well. So he's certainly can carry his own at the point guard position. It'll make it really interesting for the battle for the 8th spot in the West, because the Pelicans currently sit at 23-34, and they're 2 wins behind the 8th place Nuggets. So they're in 11th at the moment. It'll all depend how well, because nobody really knows how well DeMarcus and Davis are going to work together.
And DeMarcus is known to be trouble. That's the only downside to him, is the troublemaking.
Yeah. Has shown numerous times, his leads a lot of categories when it comes to techs and ejections and carrying on and throwing headbands and sooking. So, yeah, there's some question marks. There's a reason why it's a bit of a controversial trade, but it's a bit of a highway robbery, to be honest. I don't understand how the Kings can lose him for that. Yeah.
Like, at least get something. Like, you just got scraps. Like, you got a lot of scraps. That's what they got, is a lot of scraps. But what are you going to do with that?
Exactly. At least the Kings, they probably weren't in the playoff race. They would have been lucky to make the playoffs, but now
put himself even further into a hole.
Yeah. And obviously they do have some first-round picks to work with, but, yeah, they're probably going to have to look to move even a few more pieces just to try to get some more looks early rounds in the drafts. Is they're going to try and rebuild, because when you lose your franchise player who's averaging just under 28 points per game, and you don't really have anybody else on that team
to replace that sort of production.
Exactly. It's a huge hole, and it's a huge loss. And I don't think too much. There was a lot of talk about Boogie being traded, but this kind of talk halfway through the season doesn't usually turn into an actual trade.
Yeah.
So that's huge. A huge developing story. Obviously, it still has to be okayed by the league.
Will this be considered one of the biggest trade in in-season trades ever in the NBA?
For in-season, it's got to be up there. Like, that's... DeMarcus he's an all-star. He's the best center in the league, and he's holds his own against any position. So it's a huge trade, especially when you
trades these days. Trades don't happen. Like, it's through free agency now.
Yeah, exactly.
All the players pick where they want to go. So to have a trade like this happen now,
and to get two clubs to agree on it in such a short time frame.
Yeah.
And especially when it's three-quarters of the season's done.
Exactly. It's very strange. And as I say, still has to get okay by the league, and knowing the New Orleans that has gone awry a few times before, so we'll have to wait and see. But it does look like that will be a done deal.